Hey, welcome back to LS Garage. So today we are going to dive back into the Firebird. The power steering lines I ordered have come in and we are going to get those bad boys on. They are a braided set from a company called CBR Performance. I'll show you guys what that stuff looks like here. It consists of some fittings, and it consists of some brackets to hold the lines to the block and the lines themselves. There are a couple of steel braided lines, and one of them has a rubber fitting, that's the return line, and then some instructions. So bear with me here while I move things around all weird. So we've got the pressure line here, and we've got the return line here. And then we have instructions in the box. And I already kind of cheated and looked online. They have the instructions listed online on what to do with this stuff. So I kind of know what I'm in for on this. So basically what we're going to do is everything is loose. So we're going to hook everything back up. I'll get underneath the car in just a little bit and show you guys where stuff connects. It's pretty simple. If you know anything about the power steering systems in these cars, it's pretty self-explanatory. So we are going to find the inlet and outlet ports. The bottom one is the larger threads, 18 millimeter, and then the pressure hose is the connects to the bottom. Crimped on, it connects to the inlet rack and the bottom port. Okay, so basically bottom is the bottom port, and then there's an outlet port. Yeah, so hooking up pressure hose is pretty easy. It comes from the pump, the top corner of the pump. That you can see here. So, I don't know if you guys can see here or not. I'm trying to get the camera in there to see it. Basically right underneath here, there's a spot where that connects, right where my finger is. So you can't really see it, but it's right down in there. That's where the pressure side connects. It goes down and it goes to the bottom port on the rack. So that one's the one that was the trickiest one to get off. That was super tight on there. And then the other end will go to the cooler and the rack here. So hoses, pretty easy. Probably could have built this, but it's nice to know I have the fittings that fit exact, and this stuff works. So basically here's a good example of what's what. So right here you've got, so we can see, showing you guys, yeah. That's that hole I was talking about. Pressure hooks up here, top line goes here, return is here. We're gonna hit this guy here with a rubber hose I have that goes to a cooler. And then from the cooler, we're gonna run it back to the rack. So cool will return to the rack. And then that's how you mount it against the block. So you got two hoses on the same deal, but one goes in front, one goes in back, so it's pretty cool. So that'll keep them out of the way and looking nice, and then everything will clear. Should work out. So we're gonna get after it. Here we go. So I had this towel in here, rag in here, whatever, to soak up some of the mess. So if you can see there's two holes. I'll get the camera up in there so you can see before I start working. So the bottom is the return, the top is the bottom is the pressure, the top is the return. So the bigger fitting that I have right here goes on the bottom. I'm about to feed that guy in there, tighten him up. And then one of the other fittings goes on the top one. And then the other fitting, they gave me two. Well, they didn't. They gave me extra. They gave me two. And the other one goes on the pump. I don't know if you can see. You can't really see where it goes from here. I'll show you from the top here a little bit. 6A in outside. 18 millimeter on the inside. Should feed right in. Didn't really talk about any kind of torque spec, so we'll just kind of snug him up. Definitely don't want him to leak everywhere, so far here. Don't want to strip him, but also don't want him pissing everywhere. He's dripping a little bit, but I think that's from before. return hose adapter here. The alternator is really close to this. Trying to get the angle right to get him started. The alternators are right in the way. I want to cross thread these dudes. Let's try a different model here. See better. Maybe not see better, but feel better. There it goes, I think, maybe. Yeah, he's going in. Can't really see in there, can you? Yeah, you can, I guess right there. So there's the top one. That's a good shot right there of my hand. It's about as tight as I can get it finger tight. So there they are. Pressure on the bottom, return on the top. Go ahead and get this snugged up. So make sure not to hit that bottom one. Smack it around too much. But there they are. So that's pretty simple. So got those two guys hooked up. Next is the pump fitting, and then route the lines, and we'll do the pressure line, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do with this return line. All right, so now we're back up top. I'm going to put this fitting. Give me 1 second here to switch hands. I'm going to put this fitting, the second one that just looks just like the return fitting on the bottom, small one we just put in. I'm going to put him right there. Not there, but yeah, there, in the hole in the pump. So there's that. I'm going to use this rag and just kind of wipe around the face of it, the outside threads. Make sure I don't track any crud in there. And then see if I can hit him pretty square. I'll go right in here. Kind of finger tight here. So yeah. There he is. He's threading okay. So we'll get him going the rest of the way here, just finger tight. And then I'll tighten him up with the wrench. I'm going to be careful on this one just because I'm going into a metal fitting a plastic body. So I don't want to over torque this thing. If I can get it to focus on down there. Yep, this is going to be a little bit cumbersome, as they say. Get this guy to cooperate. I think I may have to use the box end. Yeah, a little bit, little by little. It fits, so it's good. Got a line wrench, but I don't think it's quite big enough. It was actually better for the 18 size that was stock. So these are 19s. The stock lines are 18s. So that feels pretty good. Feels tight. Don't want to overdo it. That's going to be good. We'll see if it drips. All right, so next thing is go ahead and hook up this pressure hose, and then we'll fool around with the return. So I'm going to feed the pressure hose down from top to bottom. So I've straightened out this pressure hose as much as I can. It wants to kind of go where it wants to go. Hopefully they've got the heads lined up about right. I guess it will go. It's pretty close. It's going to be about that angle. This is going to be at that angle. So we'll see. So I'm going to feed him down here, kind of through. Let's move that light real quick here so we can see better. Let's move that to there. And this is going to just kind of run along here. Let's see. Run this down this way. It's going to go down there below the alternator, so I want it to kind of go between here, I think. See if it'll cooperate. Work its way down the block to the left of the alternator this time instead of the right of it. And it'll drip back over to the right. So yeah, I think we got it. Better shot. Okay. Let's try this again. It's still kind of in my way, but I think two hands would be better here, so see if I can get the angle right. And, whoop. It's right in the way. My hand's gonna be right in the way of that camera if I try and put it here, but pause it. Okay, so he's hand tight now, and then I'm gonna kind of tinker with the line and see if I can get it to kind of bend where I want, but that's about how tight as I can get it by hand. So we'll shoot down below here, see what we can figure out. Let's see. There's our line. And this is the pressure side. So it's gonna go to the bottom hole. Yeah, this would be a lot easier on a lift, so I recommend a lift. If you have the means, I highly recommend it. Let's see. There he goes. Kind of kinked funny, but we'll work with him a little bit. Braided line into here, and he returns to the pump. And I don't have to mess with taking him off the pump. So I'll kind of tinker with that for a minute here too. I'm going to grab another rag, because I have a feeling this cooler's got oil in it and I don't want to take a bath. Okay, so I don't want to go flat yet, because if I go flat it's going to pee everywhere. Yeah, that poor cooler. Look at that thing, it's all beat to hell. Oh well, it'll still work. Okay, so now we are going to hook up to their hose. A little bit of play right there, and it's not trying to fight me. Wow, look at that. I take it all back. CBR, you're geniuses. Now, I think I might route him around the same way as this hose. I think that might be the better way to do it, just so it's off the ground and get all bunged up. Can you guys see that? I'm trying to work this on here now. Trying to get this hose to cooperate. This clamp is in the way. I don't want to get my hand on it or on the cooler. I think I'm asking for it. I'm gonna get some gloves on. Work just fine. Right there. I don't think he'll try and come off. I think he's probably tight. Okay. Let's see if I can get this thing mounted up if I want it. So I'm not sure what you'll be able to see of this, but I'm gonna get some zip ties out and mount it, and then I'll double check all the got it mounted loosely. Whoa, hello. Got it mounted loosely right here, and it'll pull in air from the notch. Should be good to go with this. Let's see here. I held it up nicely. This will hold it up nicely right here. Needs to go a little bit the other way, but that's okay. It's getting quite a bit of air through there. I'll grab one or two more of these ties just in case. Go ahead and wrap these two leads together here. Let's all go nuts because the garbage man's here. All right, our rod's got to have a few zip ties on it. Yeah, dude. Yeah, we're good. All right, turn off some of the zip ties, the excess stuff check these fittings, make sure they're snug as a bug. Oh yeah, you're tight. I'm gonna get any tighter than that. You're probably tight too. Nope, not quite. Let's try it one more time here. Seems tight. Guess we'll find out. So I got it done. The car's back on the ground. Went ahead and just topped off the fluid. Got the fitting hooked up there. Fittings are all hooked up on the bottom. Sprayed it off with brake clean and sprayed the alternator out with brake clean and just let it sit overnight to make sure it was good and dry. It had some power steering fluid fall on it, so I don't want that stuff to just sit in there. Hopefully that brake clean helped. And finished the wire tuck on this side. Last night after I finished the power steering, hooking up the lines, I just topped it off. It's the next morning, but last night before I went to bed, I went ahead and finished the wire tuck over here. So didn't do a video on it because it's been done before. I'm sure people are familiar with it, but basically there's a hole. You drill a hole here, inch and a half, inch and a quarter, inch and a half, I think, drill bit here. Drill it from the underside. You take the inner fender liner out, and then you pass your wires through here with the inner fender and the wheel off, so it's easier to work. And then I relocated this negative cable that comes off the battery right here. It was here previously, and I relocated it down in that hole. You can see where that ground is next to that filler neck for this guy. Relocated that down there so it's less noticeable. So I'm gonna clean up all this and maybe get some spot paint for that, see how that looks. If that doesn't look very good, I'll mask it, reshoot just the towers, just to kind of clean them up a little bit. I painted the engine bay when it was apart, but it's been sitting so long, it just collected dust and dirt, and it's not real smooth. I'm not real happy with the quality of it, so I'm actually take the time to sand the towers down and reshoot those. That's really all you see. But overall, I'm pretty happy with it. It started back up. Everything, I disconnected the computer, plugged it back in, mounted it. It was actually just kind of loose when I got the car, so I had to find a bracket. 98, 99 brackets, apparently they're different. So 99 up bracket I had to find, and then wrapped it up like I mentioned before. And everything now is pretty much good to go. I went ahead and topped off the fluid. I checked just now after been sitting a little bit, no leaks that I can see. So hopefully all the hoses will hold up just fine. I also modified a little bit here. This car has a 4-channel rear and a 3-channel car, meaning this car doesn't have traction control, but the rear end that I have, the 88 was set up for traction control. So had to do a little modification to turn off the ABS in-op lights on the dash, and also the brake light would come on just to tell you, hey, your ABS system's not working. So kind of sucks, but I was probably going to delete this block anyway. May run just the valve to just run the adjuster valve with a line lock. AJM Manufacturing, I think, is the brand that makes them, company that makes them. So I spliced into this harness. There is a light green wire, if I remember correctly, and I think it was a yellow wire with a black stripe. Both of those need to be grounded. So I actually grounded those there. And what that will do is that should turn off those lights. When you put the car in gear, or I guess put it in reverse and move, those pop on. I haven't driven the car yet. I'm hoping it doesn't come on. I literally just topped it off, shut it down. Garage smells like fuel because for some reason this thing's running pig rich at idle. I need to have that looked at. It's got cats and the cam's not real big, not a lot of overlap, so I'm not real sure what's causing that. But anyway, yeah, so at a good stopping point right now. So on the agenda for today, I've got a friend of mine that has done rear gear installs in 8/8 before. And so I've got something new on the agenda today. I've got a friend of mine that has done 8/8 install, gear installs in 8/8 rears, I should say. And he's going to take this apart and he's going to pull out the 327 gears and put the 373s that were in it when I first got this rear end back in it. So hopefully that will work pretty well. I think I'll like it better. I think I'll like it driving better. These gears are just so long, it's just kind of strange. Just not a big fan of it. So it'll be closer to the stock 342 gear with a little bit more advantage. So I think it'll be good. So I'm going to take the car out to him today and just leave it with him for a day or two. It's Saturday morning. So hopefully by tomorrow I'll have the car back and I'll do a quick review on the 373s versus the 327s. I'll get some video on the way out to his house just so you guys can see how it revs. I also put, that's one thing I forgot to say, I put a resistor in line for the tach. So hopefully the tach will register right. I'm not really sure. I guess it's because the P59 doesn't actually put out enough signal for the tach in these cars to say, hey, oh, there's a signal there. So the resistor helps to boost that signal so the tach will read. I think that's correct. So hopefully the tach works, and we'll find out shortly. I actually meant to look when I started it up, but I didn't. So I may start it up again and see if it works. But anyway, that's it for now. I'll update soon with the gears. Have a great day. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Thanks.